Coming up on Fulton Today, Fulton says farewell to members of its judicial family. We'll take you there. And our blue team serves holiday cheer to the community it protects. That and more starts right now on Fulton Today. Welcome to Fulton Today, everybody. Fulton commissioners approved their 2017 legislative priorities, and though cityhood will not be an issue at the Capitol next year, annexation legislation will be. FGTV's Dante Carter joins us now from the Capitol to give us a look at what's ahead. Dante?
Well, Shania, the Board of Commissioners has recently passed next year's legislative priorities, and here to tell us what's next is Intergovernmental Affairs Manager Fran Calhoun. Fran, thank you so much for joining us. And where do we stand right now in this process?
We work very closely with our state legislators, and so we will have the first opportunity to present our package to our Fulton County delegation at its upcoming meeting. There we hope to gain support for the priorities and perhaps even sponsorships.
Wow, thank you so much. And one of the listed is changes to Georgia's annexation law that will broaden opportunities for objection by counties to annexation petitions by the cities. What does that mean, and how will it help Fulton County residents?
Absolutely. Currently, objections to annexations by cities are only valid if they are for land use and zoning changes. So our Board of Commissioners believes that a more impartial process for all governing entities, including counties and school systems, would be to allow for their concerns to be a part of the decision-making process for all annexations. After all, annexations and de-annexations and incorporations affect so many things that a county and a school system, those governing bodies, are expected to cover.
Very good, and I understand this provision also includes changes in the petition verification process. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, in this past year's annexation petitions, there were some concerns that some of the signatures may have been old, that may have not been aligned with the more recent maps. And so county commissioners were very interested in protecting the citizens' interest. I also believe that another concern is that cities themselves get a chance to verify those signatures. And so, of course, they're not disinterested parties. And so we believe that that, too, is a bit of a flaw in the current law.
Wow, thank you so much. And can you talk to us a little bit about Georgia's nuisance law and whether or not that needs strengthening? Can you talk to us about that?
Absolutely. This is an age-old problem. The nuisance law, first of all, has been created to protect citizens against the unlawful or unreasonable use of property. So in many neighborhoods, if you've got auto garages going up next door, or noise nuisances, or drug havens, this law is supposed to help abate and terminate those types of nuisances. It needs strengthening because there are many property owners who've learned how to avert the law. In fact, we have seen where they transfer the title of the property just at the moment that the court is about to fine them for that nuisance. And so then they are able to leave that citation, those citations behind and transfer, the ownership with a clean slate. And so what we're hoping to do is to ensure that the citation and those attendant fines and liens, that those actually travel with the property and not the property owner.
Wow, thank you so much, Fran. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Well, we have a very balanced package. We are very excited about it. We're very hopeful and expect great things in 2017 as we've aligned all of our priorities with our overarching 2016 through 19 strategic plan priorities.
Fran, thank you so much for joining us here on Fulton today. We really do appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks again. And reporting here from the state capitol, I'm Dante Carter for FGTV.
Thank you very much, Dante. Now, if you would like more information on the Commissioner's legislative priorities, you can contact Fulton's Intergovernmental Affairs team, 404-612-2201. Well, Fulton says farewell to several decades of judicial leadership following the retirement of a number of Superior Court judges. FGTV's Priscilla Ortega has this story.
The Superior Court Administrator says this is the first time in years that the court has had so many transitions happening all at the same time here at the courthouse. And as the court prepares to soon welcome new judges, they first had to say goodbye.
Please know how much we, the bench, will miss you.
In a ceremonial program fitting for members of the judiciary, 4 Superior Court judges were honored for their longtime service on Fulton's bench. Judge Bensonetta Tipton Lane, Judge Wendy Shube, Judge T. Jackson Bedford Jr., and Judge Jerry Baxter.
Jerry Bowtie Baxter.
And with the honors and proclamations came the stories, the laughter, and the praise.
Congratulations and best wishes on your retirement. Thank you.
Over the many years, each judge has presided over their share of trials, including some of the most serious crimes and high-profile cases. Judge Lane has been on the Superior Court bench since 1995.
Overall, I have felt grateful that I have had a job that I could look forward to coming to every day of the 21 years that I have served Fulton County.
Judge Shube and Bedford joined the bench in 1996.
There's really not much point in having this job if we can't try every day to find justice and make a difference for people.
It's bittersweet. I have more than enjoyed my time at the Superior Court of Fulton County and working with all of these people.
And Judge Baxter on the Superior Court bench since 2000.
I've tried as best I could in this job to be fair and just. And, you know, some days I haven't measured up, I know that, but I think mostly I've done a pretty good job.
But now, with a combined 75 years of service to Fulton County Superior Court, each of them is saying goodbye and hanging up their robes for good. And as the retiring judges say farewell to this courthouse, the new judges will say hello by being sworn into service, some as early as next week. Reporting outside the Fulton County Courthouse, I'm Priscilla Ortega for FGTV.
Thank you very much, Priscilla. Good news to share about one of the busiest corridors in South Fulton. Old National Highway will soon have a new look. The Board of Commissioners approved a Public Works Department request to improve sidewalks and provide streetscape along both sides of Old National Highway between Flat Shoals Road and Sullivan Road.
It's an upgrade type of improvement for Fulton County. A project that we work out with the City of College Park as well as Georgia DOT. It is a project that's going to upgrade the sidewalks. Current sidewalks we have from 4 feet, sometimes 3 feet in some areas, but this project is going to bring us projects that sidewalks that have widths from 5 to 6 foot, and it will be with ADA current standards compliance.
Complying with current ADA guidelines, the new improvements will enhance pedestrian safety and connectivity to shopping in nearby neighborhoods, as well as ease congestion and improve accessibility to MARTA stops.
The number of pedestrians on the roads, on the streets is higher, and working through College Park and Fulton County and receiving the number of requests to improve those sidewalks here, it's a plus.
The Sidewalks Improvement Project is expected to be completed by 2018. Well, Fulton's Animal Control Services is proving that once again you can teach an old dog new tricks. In contrast to their old image as just dog catchers, animal control officers are now taking on a more community outreach role.
We have a flawed misconception about who we are. And a lot of times people don't want to call us because they think that we're going to do more harm than good. However, that's not the way we operate anymore.
Whether they're looking for the home of a pet found in the field or educating citizens on pet care, keeping the pet unharmed are the officers' top priority.
Our goal isn't to impound the dog. Our goal is to make the dog's life better where it already is. You know, that not only helps our shelter with the amount of animals that we have, but it also helps the dog out so we don't bring it into a stressful environment at the shelter.
FGTV cameras were rolling during this service call of a dog tethered to a chain in the front yard. And instead of issuing a fine,
based upon my discretion here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign him up for some community assistance programs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a detailed message explaining all the things that we can help them out with. And doing things like this not only is best for the animal, but it also helps improve our name in the community, because they don't see an animal control truck as a negative anymore. They start to see it as almost the way to where it can help improve their dog's life.
If you see an animal in need or help, or if you have an interest in adopting, you're encouraged to call Fulton County's Animal Services at 404-613-0358. And our men and women in blue bring holiday cheer to the community they protect and serve. Once again, the police department teamed up with Feldwood Elementary to provide healthy meals to 15 families and their children who otherwise would have gone without nutritious meals during this time of year.
School is closed for a week. We are a Title I school, and a lot of our students depend on that free breakfast and that free lunch as their meals. We also have a weekend program where we nourish the need and send kids home with backpacks over the weekend. But when school is closed, there are no backpacks and there are no free breakfasts and free lunches.
From turkeys to lunch meat to cereal, milk, and eggs, the boxes of food contained a wide variety of all items, all courtesy of the police department.
All of the food came from our Fulton County police officers who were generous enough to go in their pockets to give to our families, and State Representative Virgil Flood donated the turkeys for us.
During this time of unrest between citizens and police, it was a welcomed gesture both parties enjoyed being a part of.
One of our main agendas is to actually be community oriented. And with everything that's going on there in the community, I felt like this was the perfect time to actually bring the serving part of Protect and Serve to the forefront.
I feel grateful to know that it's still good officers and everything out here, and that's the best thing. I definitely wanted to show my kids that, because they was a little afraid, but I couldn't wait for them to see that it's still good people out here.
The Holiday Food Baskets program is just one of many programs Fulton County's departments and agencies take part in during the holiday season. And still to come, homeless residents are blanketed with love. We'll explain in our district by district coverage next. Commissioners review the 2017 proposed budget with constituents on both ends of the county, and homeless citizens are blanketed with love. Here's this week's district by district coverage. District 2 Commissioner Bob Ellis gives residents a chance to hear about the spending plan for next year. The North Fulton representative hosted a town hall style meeting at the Roswell Library.
And the thing that I was pleased to hear is we got a lot of positive feedback around kind of the changes that have taken place over the past couple of years and sort of directionally where we're going, and a lot of validation around kind of like the thoughts and the plans coming into 2017.
The commissioner and finance officials laid out what the various budgets will look like in 2017, especially given the new city of South Fulton.
There's been some changes made that are positive. You know, it's hard when when you live in a county as big and as diverse as ours to meet the needs of everybody, and I really appreciate the work of our North Fulton people for certain in trying to make sure that our needs are served.
Finance officials explained that while there will be minimal impact to the countywide services because of the new city of South Fulton, the county will have to create a few new divisions like security for Fulton County government buildings. That service was once handled by Fulton County Police. And in District 4, the 2017 budget was also the topic of conversation at Commissioner Joan Garner's community engagement meeting held at the Helene S. Mills Senior Multipurpose Facility. Residents from Central Fulton also got information on the financial outlook for next year.
Some of the concerns that we heard really were targeted towards all people are self-sufficient, and particularly our senior centers, making sure that there is updated equipment, that there are instructors for classes.
Each district commissioner will host a budget hearing in their district. The legally required public hearing will be held on December 21st during the Board of Commissioners recess meeting in Assembly Hall. District 5 Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr. wrapped up his donation drive for the homeless just in time for the holidays. For the second year in a row, the commissioner hosted his Blankets of Love event to provide clothes and blankets for homeless citizens. To wrap up the weeks of collections, the commissioner invited citizens to the Fulton County Government Center atrium, where they were fed a bag lunch before they took turns picking out items.
And it is a great need, especially this time of year where there are homeless citizens. They need clothing and things to keep warm. And in addition to that, it's a part of the president's overall strategy to end homelessness and to assist our homeless veterans and assist our homeless folks that live in this nation, also in Fulton County.
Commissioner Arrington says while this event was needed, a more comprehensive strategy and solution is also needed to solve Atlanta Fulton's homeless issue.
In Seattle and LA, they're turning old hotels into shelters for the homeless. And so we've got to really start looking at partnering with other governments and partnering, doing public-private partnerships so that we can come up with some real solutions.
For several weeks, bins were placed at various county facilities so that county staff and residents could drop off gently used or used items. And finally, Commissioner Emma I. Darnell addresses families at the Aviation Community Cultural Center. The District 6 representative took part in the ongoing Aviation Speakers Series. The program gives young people a chance to hear from aviators and also from those who have long supported the aviation industry and the facility.
We are really excited and pleased to have had an opportunity to come out this morning and share in a program which is focusing on teaching the young people of this community new careers in aviation, and not only in careers, but also the kind of life skills which we know will be so necessary for their success.
Commissioner Emma Darnell talked about how the facility, the Aviation Community Center, was developed, the politics that went into getting the funding to make this happen.
The Aviation Community Cultural Center is a 16,000 square foot facility located on the grounds of Fulton County's Charlie Brown Field. Initiated by a community advisory group in 1999, the project was funded by the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act and approved by the Fulton County Board of Commissioners in 2010. And when we come back, find out why now is the time to get a flu shot before you get sick. Stay with us. Fulton's smoking ban in county facilities is catching on. It appears bars and restaurants are also choosing to go smoke-free. FGTV's Lynn Vaughn has our story.
Having a sit-down meal during a night out on the town or a drink at the local bar is getting more pleasant these days as dozens of restaurants are choosing to ban smoking.
I think especially as a restaurant owner, smoking and eating together to me doesn't go well.
Anise Cafe and Bistro is just one of 25 restaurants that are now smoke-free after Fulton's Partnership to Improve Community Health, or PITCH program, educated restaurant owners about the health and the economic benefits.
Once they go smoke-free, they're seeing an increase in the number of participants, patrons that come into the bars. They're not hearing as many complaints from those who don't smoke.
PITCH coordinators have a goal of converting 46 restaurants in Fulton to smoke-free establishments. The push comes after the coordinators conducted a survey that showed 79% of residents prefer smoke-free establishments. That's something many restaurant employees seem to agree with as well.
I used to food run, and I worked right by the bar where everyone used to smoke, and now that it's not a smoking area, it's quite nice because I don't smell like smoke when I go home. I run around with ease. I'm not feeling like that smoker lung, so I love it.
Now, for employees that may need help with the transition of going from a smoker to a non-smoker, PITCH coordinators also provide restaurant owners with resources to help smokers kick the habit. For more information on the program, you can call 404-613-1461. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Lynn Vaughn.
As we head into what is typically called flu season, health professionals recommend that you still get a flu shot if you haven't already. Health department employees say the flu severity and timing varies year to year, but this time of year is usually when those cases spike. Health officials say the best way to avoid the flu is to get the shot.
What happens is our flu vaccine formulation changes every year. So we recommend that those people who are 6 months and older get a flu shot every year. Because of people's waning immunity at age 65 and older, we have a vaccine that has been out now for about 3 years that is called high-dose flu vaccine, and it's specifically formulated for people who are 65 years old and older.
New this flu season, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends only injectable vaccines this year as opposed to the nasal spray. The vaccine takes about 2 weeks for protection to develop and last throughout the flu season. Fulton's workforce helps to give the gift of life this holiday season. The government center atrium filled with workers who rolled up their sleeves to give blood to the American Red Cross. According to Red Cross workers, the need for donations is constant, and giving one bite can save up to 3 lives. And there is even a greater need during the holiday season.
It's a way of giving back, and there are a lot of people in need. I have several family members who are ill and who have also benefited from blood transfusions.
And I just like to repay those that have given blood for my family members, and hopefully that will help somebody and maybe in their family or any other family to help save them.
The whole process takes about an hour, which includes the questionnaire, mini physical, the actual donation, followed by rest and refreshments. Eligible donors are allowed to give blood every 56 days. And if you want to help save a life by giving blood, just go to redcrossblood.org. And when we come back, history comes to life thanks to a new exhibit covering the heroics of some high-flying World War II soldiers. Stay with us. An amazing exhibit that features dozens of World War II bomber jackets is now on display. The artwork at the Aviation Community Cultural Center is a photographic collection of about 50 American military flight jackets and portraits of the veterans. The photographer says he wants the public to see how each jacket is unique and tells their own story with the artwork created on them.
I hope people get a sense of history and also the beauty of the jackets. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. Not all of them have artwork on them. Ideally, I'm looking for jackets that have artwork on the front and the back, but it's not a requirement.
Now, many of the jackets have bombs which designate the number of missions flown. Some have swastikas representing the number of German aircraft destroyed during those missions. The son of one of the World War II veterans says he's proud that his father's jacket is a part of the display.
My dad would talk about it, and I went to several reunions with him, and he was very, very proud of his service and of that whole greatest generation thing. He was a little bit humbled about it, but I used to remind him, you are the greatest generation.
The exhibit will be on display until January 29th. And finally, the next generation of basketball stars, well, they're learning all about the basics for free. About 100 kids participated in the Parks and Recreation's Skills and Drills basketball clinic at Welcome All Park. The training was split up between 2 days with players ages 5 to 8 the first day, then 9 to 14-year-olds took the court the next day. All of the kids were taught ball handling, dribbling, defensive, and offensive moves.
These skills that they learn here, they're the fundamentals of basketball as well as for life. We try to incorporate building character through the game of basketball. Teamwork, supporting one another, listen to authority figures, all those little things, those small things plays a major role in the growth and development of these young kids.
The Parks Department says the free clinic was a way to say thank you to the children who participate in programs and to get them ready for the first game that takes place in January. And before we go, our reminder that we'd like to connect with you online. Check us out anytime on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and our YouTube channel. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. Thank you so much for watching. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.